What's up, y'all? My name is Miles, and you already saw the title. You know what's going on. We're talking about the 5 most important things that first-time RV buyers need to know. Let's go. Alright, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Like I said, we're checking out the top 5 things that first-time RV buyers need to know. So hopefully this list will be comprehensive enough for you to get a lot of the information you've been looking for answers for if you're a first-time RV buyer or someone looking at RVs for the first time. So we're going to go through that real quick before we get started. Hit the like and subscribe button down below to stay up to date with future content like this. And then check out my TikTok page here where I have a lot of quick RV walkthroughs and other RV buying tips as well on there. So go check that out. But yeah, with all that said, let's get started. Alright, y'all, so we're going to talk about these 5 things. I don't know what it is about the days that I choose to record, but it could be cloudy or sunny, doesn't matter. It always seems like it is going to choose to be windy on the days that I record here in Texas, so I apologize for that. Hopefully it's not too bad. But let's start out with thing number 1 that you need to know if you're a first-time RV buyer, and that is going to be the different types of RVs. So we're going to start out with what would be called bumper pull travel trailer RVs. It can kind of interchange between those two. Some people call them bumper pull trailers, some people call them travel trailers, but they're going to come in a wide range of sizes. This is going to be like a teardrop travel trailer here, so very small travel trailer, and it will range all the way up to things like this over here, where these will also be travel trailers, and these are all going to be towable RVs. And they come, like I said, in various different sizes. So you're going to have ones that are in this size and, you know, these sizes here, and then they'll get bigger into like what these Cougars and these Sprinters are. And then even further into the details of these, you're going to have 2 different types of them. You're going to have your fiberglass sided ones here, and then we'll go back to the aluminum sided ones in the back here. Then you have your aluminum sided ones here. Now the biggest difference between these is going to come down to the construction of them. Obviously you have the different siding, but you're going to have wooden framing. Whenever you have an aluminum sided trailer like this, it's going to have wooden framing. And then on your fiberglass sided ones, they are going to have aluminum framing. So aluminum siding, wood framing, fiberglass siding, aluminum framing. Hope y'all got that. I know it's a little bit confusing, but basically with the wooden framing on these aluminum sided trailers, they are going to be a little bit heavier for a comparable size in a fiberglass sided one, since the aluminum framing is going to be a little bit more lightweight. But these are going to be considered more of your entry level travel trailers, where these are going to be more of your higher end, more premium travel trailers there. So those are going to be your travel trailer motorhomes, which is, or not motorhomes, your travel trailer RVs, which is then going to take us to the 5th wheel RVs, which are going to be in this style here, where they hook up in the bed of your truck as opposed to hooking up on the bumper of your truck. So for these ones, you will need either a 5th wheel hitch or a gooseball type of connection in the bed of your truck. Now these are going to be much bigger than your travel trailers. They're going to have a taller ceiling height in there, and you're also going to have bigger storage compartments than in a travel trailer. So those are going to be your biggest differences. They also are going to weigh quite a bit more than your travel trailers, and are going to have some more premium features than some of your travel trailers. You can get some higher end, very premium travel trailers with a lot of similar features in a 5th wheel that also come in a travel trailer. But for the most part, you start to see more high end features standard in your 5th wheels than you do in your travel trailers. But that is what this style of RV is here, and we'll go inside one so you can see what the inside looks like versus a travel trailer. So like, let's look at a Cougar for instance, and then we'll go step in a Cougar travel trailer real quick. So we're gonna walk inside here in the Cougar 5th wheel. You can see how tall your ceiling height is, how nice your features and everything look like in here. Like you have the stone countertops. Because the 5th wheels are heavier, they start to worry less and less about weight, so you get more premium products such as that more often. And then you just see the amount of space you have in here. Going into the bedroom, you're going to have, oh, they have the slide out pushed in here for some reason, but a little bit, I guess the headroom is a little bit shorter in the bedroom because of how you walk up into the space here, but that'll kind of depend on the model as well. This is actually a mid-profile 5th wheel and not a full profile 5th wheel, whereas a full profile 5th wheel will have more space in the bedroom than a mid-profile fifth wheel because of the way that the roof is designed. And let me just point that out real quick since we're looking at the fifth wheel so you can see the difference. Full profile fifth wheel is going to be something like the Alpine here, where you can see that the profile on this, the top of the RV is pretty much straight all the way across. Whereas on a Cougar, you can see your ceiling actually slants down there, and in the back it slants down as well. Another difference between a mid-profile and a full profile is if you look underneath the RV, you can see that it is just flat all the way across the bottom. That is going to be in your mid-profile fifth wheels. In your full profile fifth wheels, you can see here that they actually drop the frame, and that frame is lower than the bottom point of the RV, which is going to give you bigger storage compartments and more room in the RV. And then finally, as you look at the stance of the RV, you can see that this dips down a little bit and your legs are actually going to be wider than they are on a mid-profile fifth wheel. So you can see how the distance between the legs on this Cougar and the distance between the legs on this Alpine are different, and the Alpine has a little bit wider stance than the Cougar. Those are going to be some of your differences in your types of fifth wheels. But let's go look at a travel trailer real quick in the Cougar lineup so you can see the difference. Wow, my cart's not going to fit through there, so we're just going to walk. But we're going to go look in the Cougar travel trailer. This is going to be a bunkhouse model here. Now you see how much shorter the travel trailer is than the fifth wheel. Fifth wheel gives you quite a bit more space. Now you're still going to get a lot of space in here, but you'll see it's just a smaller feel inside the travel trailer. So not as much ceiling height, not quite as much space in here as you have in a fifth wheel. You also don't have like the solid stone type countertops in here because they're more conscientious of the weight, and it's just a bit smaller of a feel. So really great for camping. Most people get into fifth wheels when they want that more luxury feel, or they're going to be staying in something for more extended trips and stuff like that. All just depends on kind of what your preference is. But those are going to be the two different types of towable trailers in that regard. Then under both of these classes, you're going to have what are called toy haulers. So toy haulers are going to be either a fifth wheel or a bumper pool that are going to have a garage in the back for toys such as ATVs, dirt bikes, motorcycles, 4x4s, all that kind of stuff. Or, let me wait till I'm backed up so it's not too loud. Or you can use the toy hauler area as a bunker room. So it's going to have basically the ability to make 2 queen size beds in the garage. This is a toy hauler right here. Like I said, these will come in fifth wheel and travel trailer setups, and some of them have a closed off garage. Some of them, the garage actually goes into the living space and there's no partition between your living area and the garage. You basically just get your toys out of the way and then put your couches down, and that will turn into your living area. But this one has a partition, so you'll see that here. And then let me zoom out a little bit so you can get a further scope of what we're looking at. You have your garage back here with your tie down so you can tie your stuff down. You can also turn this into a room because it'll come with a carpet that you could lay down. And you have this bunk overhead that will drop down, and then these two sofas right here will actually come together and make another bed here. So really you get 2 queen size beds. And then this is going to be in a fifth wheel toy hauler. So you see all the space that you get inside here. It's pretty huge. This is a Raptor 415 that we're standing in currently. So that is going to be the third class that you have as your toy haulers. Like I said, they will come in both a bumper pool and a fifth wheel. So you'll have both those different options for toy haulers. You also get a pretty awesome back patio setup on a lot of them. So you can bring that gate around the perimeter there and make it into a patio setup. So that's going to be all of your towable types of RVs. Let's go talk about motorhomes. All right, it was only when I started watching this video back that I realized there were 2 types of RVs that I did forget to talk about. They're both bumper pools. Well, actually one is a bumper pool and one is considered a truck camper. So those 2 different types. One is going to be a pop-up camper. So that's going to be styles like this here. And then you're going to have truck campers, which will go in the bed of your truck, that are going to look like this here. Now, these are ones that we don't sell here at my store at Holiday World, but these are other trailers that are out there that are other options as well to consider. All right, so with motorhomes, there's going to be 3 different types of motorhomes. There's going to be Class A, Class B, and B+, and then Class C. So I don't have them all side by side, unfortunately, but this here is a Class A motorhome. These are the ones that are going to look like your bus, and these are typically going to be your more luxurious type of motorhomes. Right now we have the slides pushed in on this unit, but as you come inside, you can see very high quality finishes inside the Class A motorhomes. They are usually very nice, and these will all three types of motorhomes typically come in gas and diesel options, so you can get a Class A in a gas or a diesel. But that is what the Class A looks like here. Again, your slide outs are pushed in, so when these push out, you get a whole lot more space in here. But very nice finishes in the Class A motorhomes. Next, you're gonna have your Class B motorhomes and your B plus motorhomes. So we actually have one of each right now to look at, which is pretty awesome because that's more than we could ask for at some times of the year in the past year. But this is gonna be your Class B. This is gonna be your smallest of the three motorhomes. It looks like a van. Some of them will call these like a Sprinter van type of setup, but they're all technically called Class B motorhomes. And as you see in here, you're gonna get really high quality finishes in here, a lot of gloss finishes in a lot of the Class B motorhomes. And they're really small, no slide outs, and they usually have some sort of wet bath area in there, which is basically, I don't know why they call it a wet bath, because I'm like, what bathroom isn't wet? But anyways, that's gonna be where your shower and the toilet are in the same compartment in the back there. So that's gonna be what your Class B motorhome looks like. And then let's go to the B plus. So this B plus is going to be a bit bigger than your Class B, but it's also going to have that same sort of styling where you don't have the bed over the driver's area. So this one is a little bit bigger, as you can see. Sometimes these will have slide outs, sometimes they won't. It just kind of depends. But you're gonna get an added ceiling height in something like this. And it's going to have, it depends on the model of what finishes you're gonna get. I feel like the Class B motorhomes are pretty consistent in how their finishes look, but your Class B plus, they can vary depending on the model and brand and manufacturer, all that stuff. But you'll have more of a traditional bathroom in something like a B plus and a traditional bed. Whereas in a Class B, it's going to be more like a pull-out bed or some sort of arrangement like that in a wet bath. But this here gives you more of a traditional bathroom than the Class B does. So that's the benefit to a B plus, but they are a little bit bigger. So it just depends on your preference. And finally, let's go find us a Class C somewhere. Oh, there's one right there actually. So let's go look at that one. Here is your Class C motorhome. So the Class Cs are going to have this bunk overhead. Now these again can come without slide outs or with slide outs. So this one that you'll see here does have a slide out on it. It is a full wall slide out. So pretty big there. These are going to be probably the most popular style of motorhomes. They're gonna be usually the least expensive, again, come in gas and diesel options, and are pretty much going to be the easiest to drive, because if you could drive a U-Haul truck, which anybody should be able to drive a U-Haul truck, you can drive a Class C motorhome. So very easy to drive, can be much less expensive than a Class B motorhome, depending on what you're looking at, and still have plenty of space in here. They're basically like a travel trailer on wheels. So that is going to be your Class C motorhomes, and they are known because they have the bed over the cab there. So you can get additional sleeping space with that. Even though this model does not have bunk beds in it, you can still sleep 5 to 6 people in here. Now, the final RV that I don't have here in stock right now that I could not show is a Super C. So that's going to be something that competes with a Class A motorhome, but it has more of a traditional driving feel and looks more like a semi-truck than a bus. So that's this here that we're looking at, the Super Cs, and there's various different models and manufacturers that make those. But that's going to be a different feel and take on a Class A motorhome, and these usually have a bit of a higher towing capacity. They were kind of designed originally for people that were in the racing industry so that they could tow trailers behind them that were hauling their race cars, and that's kind of what they turned into, and they are now just something that competes with the Class A. So that's something else you can take a look at that is very nice. So those are going to be all the different types of RVs that you have, and that's number one on our list. So you have the travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and then your motorhomes, Class A, B, and C. So hopefully now you know the difference between all those. Now let's go talk about if you're getting a towable RV, what kind of vehicles you're going to need. I had to get inside because it is hot out there, but let's talk about tow vehicles. So this is something that a lot of people have a lot of questions on, so I definitely want to address this, and this is going to be number 2 in the top 5 things that you need to know is what kind of tow vehicle do you need. Now ultimately the best thing to do is to find the RV that you want and then go get the vehicle that you need to tow that RV. Now, if you already have a vehicle that you're planning to tow the RV with, you're going to be confined to whatever that vehicle can tow. But if you're able to come out and take a look at RVs that we have here and then find the RV that you want and then get a vehicle after you made that decision, then you can know for sure that you're buying a vehicle that can tow the RV that you want. We have it happen all the time where people come out here to look at RVs and they fall in love with something that they just aren't able to tow. And they will tell us that they just went and bought this vehicle to buy an RV. And then they come look at RVs after they got the vehicle and they find something that they're not able to tow, and then they're bummed. And so we try to eliminate that happening by telling people to find the RV first and then get the vehicle. But now let's talk about what kind of vehicles you need. So if you're looking at travel trailers, it's going to vary. With something like that teardrop trailer that I showed you out there, that thing is only 1,300 pounds. So you could tow that with a lot of SUVs and even down to a car sometimes, depending on what the car setup is. But you do need to have a hitch, a 7-way plug, and a brake controller on your vehicle to be able to tow. So you need to make sure your vehicle is equipped with those things so that you can tow it. You need a receiver hitch, you need a brake controller, and you need a, what else did I say? 7-way plug. So you need those things. Now you can go get those at U-Haul. That's usually the easiest place to go get those. U-Haul can install hitches and 7-way plugs and all that stuff, and that's what they do. So they are very quick about that. Now, when you're looking at most traditional travel trailers, usually a bigger SUV or a half-ton truck is going to be needed. So a lot of travel trailers are going to fall in the weight range of like 3,500 pounds to 10,000 pounds, depending on what you're looking at. And something like a Jeep Grand Cherokee, for instance, is going to have about a 7,500 pound towing capacity, I believe. So you're going to limit yourself if you have a vehicle like that on what you could tow. And then in addition to that, you usually want to be about 15 to 20% below what your towing capacity is for your trailer, because you also have to include things like the weight of yourself in the vehicle and the weight of all your things that you're going to have in your RV and stuff like that. So if you have a 7,500 pound towing capacity, we usually try to keep you at 6,000 pounds or below to keep you safe in towing. And a lot of people say, oh, well, my vehicle can tow it or whatever. And it's not always about can it pull it, it's about can it stop it. And a lot of times when you're pushing your towing capacity too close, it's going to be an issue of stopping the trailer, not so much pulling the trailer. Now, when you're looking at coming back to like half-ton trucks, if you have a half-ton truck, that's going to be able to tow about 90 to 95% of the travel trailers out there. So there are going to be some travel trailers that are going to be over 8,500 pounds to 10,000 pounds that you might not be able to pull with your half-ton truck. And then you're going to need to go up to a 3/4 ton truck, which is going to be something like a Chevy 2500 or a Ford F-250. And now by half-ton trucks, I didn't specify, but a half-ton truck is going to be something like a F-150 or a Chevy 1500. And then you're going to have your things like a Toyota Tacoma and a Chevy Canyon, I believe, things like that, Ford Ranger.
I know this truck, I ain't no stranger. I know that truck, that's a Ford Ranger.
These are going to basically be equivalent to like your larger SUVs, and they're going to have towing capacities around 5,000 to 7,500 pounds, 5,000 to 7,500 pounds or so. When you get into fifth wheels, you're going to need things like a 3/4 ton truck, which is going to be things like your GMC 2500, F-250, stuff like that. There are some half-ton towable fifth wheels out there, like we carry the Cougar brand that is marketed as half-ton towable, but you have to be careful and you have to make sure that your truck has a payload capacity that can hold that hitch in the bed of your truck. So you're going to have your payload capacity, which needs to be higher than what your hitch weight is on the trailer. So these are all things that you can talk to with your dealership, whether it be the RV dealership or the car dealership that you bought from, to get the information for what your specs are exactly for what your truck is. But you want to make sure that you're not overloading your payload capacity with what the hitch weight of the fifth wheel is, and then you obviously want to make sure you have the towing capacity. Then when you get into your bigger fifth wheels, like your 40-foot plus fifth wheels and your triple axle toy haulers, stuff like that. Triple axle meaning you have 3 wheels on the trailer instead of 2. When you get into those, you're going to be looking at something more like a dually. Now there are some 3/4 tons that can pull a 40-foot plus fifth wheel, but usually with a dually toy hauler, if you're loading toys in it, you're going to want, a triple axle toy hauler with toys in it, or 4x4s or Harleys, whatever it may be. You're usually going to want a dually because that's a lot of weight, and those are going to be very heavy trailers with very heavy equipment in them, and a dually is going to be the way to go. So hopefully that helps out a little bit with tow vehicles and what you're looking at and stuff like that. Like I said, at the end of the day, the best thing to do if you're concerned about the towing capacity of your vehicle is just call your dealership, whatever vehicle you have, call the dealership that is local to you, talk to the people in service, give them your VIN number, and ask them exactly what you're able to tow, because they should know. So that is thing number 2, talking tow vehicles. Now we're gonna go on to number 3, which is going to be different parts and accessories that you're gonna need. So let's go talk about that. All right, after you picked up the RV that you want, or picked out the RV that you want, there's gonna be various different parts and accessories that you're gonna wanna look at getting and that you're gonna need to get out camping with your RV that may not come with the trailer. Some of those things are going to include things like a sewage hose. So that's gonna be very important to clear out your tanks. And then you're also gonna need a water hose so that you can fill up your freshwater tanks and stuff like that. You're gonna probably need something like a surge protector to protect all of your electrical components in the RV. There's a whole lot of different options. You can get things like generators if you want. That's not necessarily something that you need. You can get satellites, which again, not something that you need. You can get solar packages with lithium batteries, things like that. But none of those are things that you necessarily need. But when it comes to like sewer hoses, wheel blocks, leveling blocks, those are some of the things that are pretty common that people will get. You'll get these little mud dopplers or daubers that will protect your vents on the outside of the RV from any mud getting in there or any bugs or critters or anything going into those spaces and building hives or nests or anything like that. So those are things that people typically get. You can also get these things to help with insulation. These go in like the vents of your RV to give added insulation there. They even have RV toilet paper. So you can get the proper toilet paper that you need, proper water chemicals, things like that. Then another thing that's very popular that most people get are vent covers for the tops of their RVs. So that's something you may want to look at as well. Then there's various different stuff that you can look at. Like you can get wheel blocks so that nobody can steal your RV. You can get these hitch locks so that nobody can steal your RV. Different cleaning tools, stuff like that. And this is something where you're just going to want to talk to the people at your dealership and let them know what your situation is for what you're wanting to do, and figure out exactly what stuff you're going to need for your RV. So just wanted to show you this area here, and that is going to be number 3 thing to think about. The third thing to think about is going to be parts and accessories that you're going to need for your RV. Before we go on to thing number 4, I do notice every time I walk around here, I'm like, man, it does kind of look dirty in this building. And I have to remind people, this building has been here since 1973. So it has been here for a while. Us as Holiday World, we bought it in 2010, I believe. So we've been here for a little over 10 years now. But this building has been here for a long time. We actually have some employees here in service that have been here almost the entire time that this building has been here. So they've been here over 40 years, which is pretty incredible. But yeah, this building has been here for a long time. We've been here in the Dallas area for a long time, or the building has, and then Holiday World, we've been here for over 10 years now. So definitely a lot of good stuff that we've learned and figured out in this building. It is definitely not the most luxurious looking dealership to pull up to. We have like our Alvarado store that is a huge, massive mega RV dealership with the awesome showroom floor with like stained concrete in the showroom floor and everything like that. Here in Dallas, we just don't have that because this building has been around for so long. But we do have a great system put together for how we take care of our customers and how we treat our customers, and we are very customer service oriented, and we've been here a while, doing this for a while, and that is what we really prioritize, which is what has led to us having the reviews that we have for our service department, which you can see here. We have a 4.9 star rating on Google with over 1,100 reviews, and that's going to be because of just the systems that we have in place that we figured out over time. But don't let the look of our RV dealership scare you away, because I promise you there's a lot of great things that happen here. But this building's been here for a while, and sometimes to deliver a great amount of customer service and a great product, you have to be here for a while, which you could tell we've been here for a while. But I just wanted to explain that. As I was walking around, I was like, man, it looks a little dingy in here, so I got to make sure that I explain why, because we're not trying to be dirty. It's just this building has some history, it has some life to it. All right, now that I cooled off a little bit, we're going to venture right back outside to talk about number 4, which is going to be different maintenance that you'll want to do to your RV and that you'll want to think about when getting your RV. Now, you can take your RV into the dealership that you bought from, and they can have like they can do your yearly maintenance and stuff for you, things like that that'll need to be taken care of and looked at. But there's a lot of stuff that you can do on your own too. So here's some of the things that you can look at as far as doing maintenance on your RV yourself, and things to check before you go on trips and stuff like that, to make sure that your RV is holding up and you aren't going to have any problems while you're out on your trip. One of the most important things is going to be getting up on your roof and checking all the seals on top of your RV. So you want to make sure that all these seals around all of your components in the RV and around the edge are all airtight, and there's no places where water can leak through, because if you get water damage in your RV, that's kind of like the kiss of death to an RV. So you want to avoid that at all costs, and this is usually the first place you can check and make sure that everything is good to go, because it can be, if you get a break in one of these seals, it can be a very bad situation. So you want to be up here regularly checking those. And then also about once a year, especially if your RV is sitting out in the sun, you want to make sure that you get up here and do a roof treatment on it. So you can do that yourself, or the dealership can do it for you. But basically, we sell a liquid in our parts department over there where you mix it with water and you get up here and you scrub your roof with it. And it's going to be like a lotion for the roof essentially, so that it doesn't dry out or crack. So that's going to be something you want to check regularly. Coming around to the side, you're going to want to check your slide outs and check the little rubber sleeves around the slide out here. I don't know why I can't think of the proper term for what they would be called, but you want to check these and make sure that they're still making good connection on there, so no water or anything is getting through your slide out. And you want to make sure that none of these are drying out or cracking, because these are a rubber material, so over time they can dry out and crack. So that is going to be something, again, where you want to do some sort of treatment to it to make sure that it stays moisturized and doesn't crack over time. Also, when you come to the dealership, they're usually going to offer you something like a paint and fabric protector. So I would definitely recommend going with that. It basically is going to give you a 5-year warranty, ensuring that your coach or your RV does not fade and the decals don't peel over time over that 5-year period. So it's going to ensure that this material stays intact and doesn't fade. So it's a coating that goes on the outside of your RV, and they also do it on the fabric on the inside, ensuring that it doesn't peel or crack or anything like that. So very valuable. Make sure that your dealer mentions that and that you get that added onto your RV so that it can be protected. The next thing you're going to want to do is about once a year or so, you want to pack the bearings. So behind the wheels here, I actually have never done this myself, so I don't know exactly how to do it, but I know it's a simple process from what everybody explains to me. But you're going to want to make sure you pack the bearings. I'm sure there's a YouTube video on there somewhere that'll show you how to pack your bearings, but you want to do that. And then another thing on the other side of the RV that I want to show you, give me just a sec to get over there. So in your water heater, if your water heater has an anode rod like this, you want to make sure that you're checking this periodically to make sure that there's no corrosion or rust or anything building up on it. If there is, you want to replace that, and that usually will need to be replaced every now and again. So you can see, like, they do accumulate rust pretty easily, but you really just want to make sure on the inside of this part that there's not a big amount of corrosion or anything building up on there. And so that is something that you're going to want to check periodically as well, that people usually overlook and don't think about. And then also, obviously, this is something that a lot of people should know but usually don't do, and that's just checking the tire pressure on your tires. Blowouts on RVs happen all the time, and a lot of times it's an issue of tire pressure. Not always, but a lot of times it can be that. So you want to check your tire pressure, make sure your tires are at the proper pressure before you leave and head out on your trip as well. All right, so that's the first 4 things. Now we're on to thing number 5, which is going to be service. And this is probably the most important thing that you need to know, because this is where RV dealerships unfortunately get a lot of their bad reviews, and where we at Holiday World, this is actually where I get a chance to really brag on my dealership here because of how we handle service. Again, our dealership here in Dallas has a 4.9 star rating with over 1,100 reviews. Very hard for any business to accomplish that, and there's not another dealership in Texas that has that high of a rating on Google, and a lot of that is because our service department and everything that they do. So let me tell you a little bit about what service is going to be like at different RV dealerships or just in the RV industry in general, and then what we do here at Holiday World to make sure you have the best experience possible owning your RV. Out in the cold air here and can cool down a little bit, but when it comes to service, a lot of people don't understand what service is going to be like with an RV because they're used to cars, and you know, if you buy a Ford car, you can take it to any Ford dealership to get service work done for it. And that's not exactly how it works with RVs, because if you buy like a RV from us and it's a Keystone product, and you go to take it to another dealership that doesn't have Keystone in their lineup of RVs that they feature, they are not going to be able to do any warranty or service work for you. They aren't going to have the warranty parts and the relationship with that dealership to do warranty work. So you're going to have to take it back to the dealership that you bought from in order to get that warranty work done. We have people call here all the time that want to get warranty work done on their RVs that they didn't buy from us, and we tell them we can't get them in because we don't even work on that brand to begin with. So you're going to have to be conscientious of the dealership that you buy from, and knowing that that is going to be where you're going to go get most of your service work done for your RV. Now, some places will take them in for warranty work if they do service that same brand that you bought from, but they're at a different dealership. But there are instances where these dealerships have every right to say, hey, you didn't buy your RV from us, so we are not going to prioritize you, and we'll get to you when we get to you. And sometimes that's just the case, and you end up waiting, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks to get your RV back. There's really no saying. I know when customers come and shop with us here and then they choose to go buy at a different place, we'll absolutely take them in for service if they bought a product that we can service. But we have priority service for our customers that buy from us, and in order to make that possible for our customers that deserve the best service possible that we can offer them, we have to prioritize them first. And if you didn't buy from us, we put you at the end of the line and we get to you when we get to you. And that's kind of how service works in the RV industry, and that's just the reality of it. So you have to be conscientious of what service you're going to get from the dealerships that you buy from. And that brings me to what we do here at Holiday World on the service end for our customers that buy from us, that have led to us having that 4.9 star rating with 1,100 reviews. That's a pretty dang big deal, which is why I keep mentioning it. And let's get into why that is. One of the first things that I hear customers talk about a lot that have had RVs that I've talked to over the years is that they buy their RV, especially if they buy like a new RV, they take it out on their first trip or they take it home, and immediately they realize that something is wrong or something's not working properly, and it's their first trip. And then when they go to take it back into their service department, they tell them that it's going to be about 4 to 8 weeks before they get it back, and they literally just bought the thing. So that is what we try to eliminate here for every one of our customers at Holiday World. The first thing we have to eliminate that is our campground. So unfortunately, there's no palm trees or beaches or mountains or anything around here, no rivers to fly fish in. But we do have free electrical and free water hookups for all of our customers that buy from us to come back here and use these facilities. In fact, when my dad came here from Colorado to buy his Cougar fifth wheel from me, he stayed back here for 2 nights and got to spend some time in his RV. And basically what this space is used for is if you buy your RV from us, you can stay back here for a couple nights and use our facilities for free and go through your RV, make sure everything is how you need it to be, make sure everything works properly. And if anything is not working properly or you need anything adjusted, our service staff will hop on it right away and make sure you get taken care of. That way you know everything's good to go before you take it home or go on your first trip. So we encourage every one of our customers to take advantage of this campground that we have. And then in addition to that, if you're living in your RV full time or you're using your RV when you need to bring it in for service, if you bring it in for service and it's going to take us multiple days to work on it, you can actually stay in our campground at night. We can move your RV back here at night to stay in and then work on it during the day. That way you don't have to go get a hotel. So this campground really serves multiple purposes that is pretty huge for the value that it provides. And this is something that our customers get to use for free. We do not charge them for, and part of just what comes with our service package here at Holiday World. Next, we're going to talk about service, because there's a few different important things to talk about when it comes to just bringing your RV in for service. One is going to be, how many service bays does the dealership you're buying from have? Here at Holiday World, we have nearly 20 service bays on our building. I actually have not even counted all of them, to be exact. I think it's actually over 20. But we have a huge number of service bays and staff here to make sure you get taken care of quickly and timely. Now, obviously, we're not always perfect. We don't always get everybody's RV out in 24 hours, but we do everything we can to get you in and out of here as quickly as possible. And we have a whole lot of service bays here to get you taken care of. And then on top of that, one of the biggest things that we offer here at Holiday World is our trip interruption service. So I'm going to talk about that next. All right, so our trip interruption service is something I usually talk to customers about more than anything else when it comes to service, because this is something that my family has experienced before, and I've heard so many people that I've talked to over the years experience. And that is, they have a trip plan coming up, they take their RV out to start getting ready for that trip, and they realize that something is wrong, whether it be their AC goes out, their refrigerator's not working, water heater's not working, they have a water leak, something that is detrimental to the use of their RV, and they have to bring it in for service immediately. and they take it in for service, and they are told that it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks before they get it back. It's happened to my family before. It's happened to a lot of people that have owned RVs before, and it's a reason that a lot of RV dealerships don't have the greatest reviews online, because the great thing about being a buyer today is every company has an online report card, and that's Google reviews. So you can look at every RV dealership's report card and look at their Google reviews and see how well they do on service. And a lot of the bad reviews I've read over the years have to do with the time it takes to get their RV back out of service. Now here at Holiday World, we have what's called trip interruption service. So that's going to be if you're a customer that bought here from Holiday World and you have that situation happen, we are actually going to get you in the front of the line at our service department, and we're going to do everything in our power to make sure you do not miss your trip. Now that's not always going to mean that we are able to 100% totally fix whatever the issue is, but we usually try to find some sort of way to get your RV functional so that you can take it on your trip, go enjoy your trip that you had planned for 6 months ago that you're excited to go on. And we try to make sure that you get to go on that trip and you don't miss it. So we do whatever we can to get you back on the road and on your trip and make sure you do not miss anything. That is something that is only for our customers that buy here from Holiday World. If you don't buy from us and know about this policy and ask if you can buy in to be a part of it, which people have asked before, or just get access to it, you can't. You have to be a Holiday World customer to get that front of the line service, where we do everything in our power to make sure that you do not miss any of your scheduled trips throughout the year. And apparently not every RV dealership can say the same. I don't know, what every RV dealership's policies are. I've only worked at Holiday World, so I can't speak for anybody else, but I have not heard the same situation from what people have explained to me before in the past. And like I said, we're not 100% perfect. Sometimes, there's things that require ordering parts that we don't have in inventory, even though we do have a very large selection of parts inventory that we just have to wait to get in. And sometimes, it's nearly impossible to find a solution, but 95 times out of 100, we're usually able to find a solution and get you on your trip. And we do everything in our power to make sure that you do not miss any scheduled camping trips you have throughout the year. Then let's get on to the next point. I was about to end the video, but we're going to keep rolling. The next thing is going to be we are a priority RV network dealer. So what that is going to be is 130 different dealerships across the United States that we're partnered with that will also get you in the front of the line at their service departments if you're ever traveling on the road or in the middle of a trip and have any sort of emergency. Now, any RV dealership is going to tell you that you can take your RV to any dealership that deals with the manufacturer that you have, and they'll service your RV while you're on the road. What they don't tell you is they're probably not going to get you in the front of the line at their dealership. So you can take it in there, or you can call them and they're going to tell you it'll be X amount of days before you get it back if you bring it in today. Whereas if you are part of a priority RV network dealer, which there are multiple different dealerships that are a part of this network, they will get you in the front of the line at their service department the day that you have the issue if you're in the middle of a trip. So that is another benefit that you have to being a Holiday World customer, or just a priority RV network dealer customer in general, is that if you're traveling, we have all these different locations across the United States that you can get in the front of the line at the service departments of to get taken care of. One step further that Holiday World does is here we all pretty much give out our personal cell phone numbers to our customers. So myself, our other salespeople, even our service manager, Jamie, she is phenomenal. She is the reason we have the ratings that we have here. We all give out our personal cell phone numbers to every one of our customers. So that means if you are on the road and you have an issue, we want you to have as few headaches as possible. So we always encourage you, if you have any issues, just to call one of us here at Holiday World. Let us know what's going on, and we will get everything properly taken care of for you, whether it be scheduling an appointment at the closest dealership for you or helping you troubleshoot the issue however we can. We want to make sure we take care of you in the best way possible and make sure you enjoy the trips that you have planned and stuff like that going on. So that is the way that we try to go above and beyond what everybody else does. I have not heard of another service manager that gives out their personal cell phone number to every one of their customers, but ours does, and we're proud to say that and proud that she does that, as well as all our salespeople. So very hands-on. We pretty much eat, sleep, and breathe RVs, and it's what we do here. So we really enjoy it, and we try to make sure you guys have the most enjoyable experience with your RV. All right, well, that's pretty much it. That's your 5 different things that I think are most important for every first-time RV buyer to know. If there's something that you think I missed, let me know down below in the comments and let's talk. If not, hit the like and subscribe button to stay up to date for other future RV content. I will be releasing more videos like this that are more like RV buying tips and stuff stuff like that. So look for that playlist on my channel. And I don't think I missed anything else. Again, my name is Miles. Hit the like and subscribe button. Check out my TikTok page, yada, 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 all that stuff. And until next time, I'll see y'all out camping.